On March 19, 1941, the U.S. Army Air Corps activated the famed African American aviation unit known as the Tuskegee Airmen. Consisting of the 332nd Fighter Group and the 477th Medium Bombardment Group, the connection with Tuskegee University's involvement with the civilian pilot training program is how the units got their colloquial name. Also known as Red Tails or Red Tail Angels, due to the markings on their planes, the Tuskegee Airmen were pioneers in aviation, as prior to their formation, the U.S. military had not allowed pilots of African descent to fly military planes.
In World War I, numerous African American volunteers were turned away for this reason, but apparently, by World War II, the military finally had enough sense to change this policy.
Prospective pilots and other aircrew were given the same IQ and psychological tests as white airmen, and the program got a big boost when First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt took a flight piloted by an African American pilot in 1941.
An unintended milestone for African Americans was created by this program when it was ordered that black flight surgeons be assigned to the new Black Air units, resulting in the first African American flight surgeons in U.S. military history.
At first flying P-39 Airacobra and P-40 Warhawk fighters, the fighters units switched to P-47 Thunderbolts in the dive bombing and air-to-air role, later switching to the state-of-the-art P-51 Mustang. The bomb group trained with the B-25 Mitchell, but did not see combat.
Flying over Italy and escorting bombers over Germany, the Red Tails were highly effective and acquitted themselves with skill and honor, achieving a couple of notable feats, such as shooting down 3 German Me-262 jets in one day, and another time shooting down 5 German planes in only 4 minutes.
Of the 900-plus pilots trained in the program and 16,000 ground crew, 355 went overseas to see combat, to whom 96 Distinguished Flying Cross medals, at least 1 Silver Star, and numerous other medals were awarded. These fighter pilots shot down 112 enemy airplanes and destroyed nearly 1,000 vehicles, trucks, rail cars, armored vehicles, etc. on the ground. Their record-protecting bombers was among the best.
Unfortunately, 84 of these brave men lost their lives, 68 of them in combat. Things were not always smooth, as the airmen were sometimes insulted and discriminated against, but with such an exemplary record, their future was not in doubt.
No longer would African Americans be denied the opportunity to fight for their country and fly military airplanes in combat. Benjamin O. Davis, Jr., the group's original commander, would go on to become the first African American U.S. Air Force general. Numerous television and movie references to the Tuskegee Airmen have been made, notably the 2012 film Red Tails. Over 50 years earlier, Wings for This Man, a propaganda film about the Tuskegee Airmen, narrated by none other than future President Ronald Reagan, was produced in 1945 by the U.S. Army Air Force's 1st Motion Picture Unit. The film is now in the public domain.
It's morning, 20 miles from the enemy. These are American boys going to work. The morning fighter patrol. They're flying over Italy, and there are others like them flying over Burma, over the coast of Holland, over China, and over Germany. In search of the enemy. Enemy planes. The odds are bad this morning, nearly 3 to 1. routine morning patrol goes on. They close the range. 3,500 feet. 3,000. 2,500. 2,000. The odds are still 3 to 1. But it's 3 Nazis spinning down in blood and flame to every one of ours. Routine morning patrol. They're good planes, wonderful planes. And their pilots are good too. Listen.
Yesterday I fulfilled one of my ambitions as a combat pilot. I got one airplane and
An American far from home, fighting a war around the world. Listen again.
This was my leader, and the second ship was me, and 2 Focke-Wulfs came on my right. I turned right and put up a stone wall of bullets, and the first
A wall of bullets. It wasn't so long ago these men were students in a university, workmen in a shipyard, just plain citizens from everywhere USA. They changed jobs, they changed clothes. They took a train into the future. They didn't know what the future would be, but many hoped they'd get the chance to fly and fight in the air. Some wanted that chance more than anything in the world.
A strange aspect to this story is a myth that started with an erroneous claim in Liberty magazine that the Tuskegee Airmen never lost a bomber they were escorting to an enemy fighter. That was not true, as 25 to 27 bombers escorted by the Red Tails were indeed shot down, although that number figures well when compared to the average of 46 bombers shot down by bombers escorted by white fighter groups.
Our hats are off to these fine pilots and patriots. Job well done.
As a question for my students, and others, what else do you know about Benjamin O. Davis? Please let us know in the comments section below this video.
If you like this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated.